Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tio's Roadhouse. In the house, Justin Stagner today.
Yes, sir.
We are in Mobile, Alabama. This is like your stomping ground, right?
Yeah, birthplace of Mardi Gras.
That's it, brother.
A lot of people
always
don't
thought
know
it was
that.
New Orleans.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
I had a girl on the other day, and she was like, she came here, and she was like, it's cute how y'all are trying to do Mardi Gras. I was like, we started it.
Yeah. How wild does it get down here at Mardi Gras? Crazy as New Orleans?
I mean, no. What New Orleans did is take it and just amp it
to
up.
another level.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, we were down at the Super Bowl in New Orleans this year, and it's always crazy down there after a big event. It was probably 99 or something like that the last time I went to a Super Bowl in New Orleans. I think it was the Green Bay Packers and the New England Patriots. And it overlapped right into Mardi Gras, and it was on freaking stun. You couldn't move.
No,
I mean, there was just so many freaking people down there. It was insane. We made the mistake of going out after the Super Bowl. We had a bunch of friends down there, and we started bar hopping, found this bar, a band was playing and everything, and my brother decided he wanted to do a shot of absinthe.
Oh, wow.
And we were already pretty well on our way.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what, it took me to a place that I really didn't need to go. I mean, I was like, oh, yeah.
Is it trippy?
Well, I don't think it's real absinthe. It's just really strong. They put some kind of sugar cube on top of it and poured this liquor over it and then lit it on fire. It took me to another place. That's all I can tell you.
Sounds like something I'd like to try.
Maybe y'all need to do that in Mobile then.
Yeah, we'll do it tonight.
So it is Mardi Gras this weekend, isn't it?
Mardi Gras over.
That just passed? Oh, we're like on the end of March. It just got done.
Just got done.
Yeah.
Everything down here is, I mean, kids get out of school here. We let kids out the whole week for Mardi Gras.
See, the whole country should be that.
I know.
Hell, what's wrong with everybody else?
When people hear about it,
I bet y'all can't go through a drive-through daiquiri place and get you a drink and put a styrofoam cup, though, can you?
No, but you can down by Floribama. You can.
Down at the Floribama.
That's close enough.
Shout out to my buddy Big Earl. Big Earl just retired. He's down at the Floribama. Big Earl and the sexual biscuits are hanging her up, son.
Mm-hmm.
You ever go down there and see him at the Floribama?
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's wild, man. Yeah, we've had him out. He played my wife's birthday party for like the last 4 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. We've had midgets and everything, son.
That's what I'm talking about.
Little people, excuse me. I flew them in from Phoenix. It was real nice. Yeah.
It was a good party.
It was a real good party. Yeah, the funniest thing, I don't even know if I can say this stuff. But no, we'll talk about you.
Okay.
What's going on?
I was ready to hear about the midgets.
Well, I'll tell you one story. So Big Earl's up on stage. I can't remember what song he was playing, but he got to talking about how he had lost one of his testicles in some tragic accident years ago. And little girl midget's right there beside him. She had spun the wheel already. We know about the wheel.
Yeah, right.
Well, anyway, he said, I can't remember which one it is. Would you stick your hand down there and tell me whether it's the left one or the right one? And she just...
Oh my god!
Earl's wife's right there in the dang tent.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, that's when you know you got a party.
So
son.
was it the left one or the right one?
He never said.
I bet the whole thing
you missed
was made
the point of the story.
I know. I got it. Some Wolf of Wall Street type stuff y'all were doing.
Oh yeah, it's a little debauchery. Sometimes you need that in life.
You have to.
Kind of. It's all about balance.
Yep. You got to level it out.
So you're touring heavy these days, man.
Yep. Just kicking it off. End of this month, I'll be starting it.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it.
How many dates do you typically do in a year?
Well, this will be my first time touring. So,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've only been doing stand-up for about a year.
So everything started just on social media and TikTok and stuff?
That's right.
Wow, how did you get rolling?
So I put up a video one time making fun of my wife's country accent. Okay. She was sitting at the table, and she said somebody was hogging something. And I said, oh, they was hogging it. So I just get the camera rolling. I was like, what was it, Courtney? They was hogging it, and it got like 10,000 views, which when you have none before that is like,
oh,
wow.
Like, I just went viral.
Exactly. And so I was like, well, hell, I'm way funnier than her. Like, I'm gonna start doing what old Southern men sound like in the South. So I started doing the Southern grandpa guy and all the old sayings, can't shit through a screen door, never touch a wire, and all that stuff.
Through a picket fence.
Exactly.
All that good stuff.
And I can't believe nobody had thought to do it before me, and it just took off, and here we are.
So did you sit down and start making a list of all the countryisms that you could come
That's
up with?
That's exactly correct.
Did you just fall off the turnip truck? Have you used that one yet?
Yep. A matter of fact, in the video where I was making fun of my wife, I told her she sounded like if a turnip green could talk, or she sounded like cornbread. My wife, everything she says sounds deep fried. She's got a thick ass country accent.
Where's she from?
She's from here.
Alabama.
Is she?
Yeah, and
You can deep fry anything.
exactly.
That's what they say.
Deep fried Oreos are delicious.
Yeah.
You can get that at the fair.
And they're good for you.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
real
know
good
about
for
all
you.
that.
I've yet to taste anything that tasted good that was good for me.
So have you've done a little scattered stand up and stuff over the last year or so?
Yeah,
as you
I've
kind of got
been
rolling?
building my hour. You know,
So tell me what that was like the first time you got on stage.
I got too drunk sitting down, and to build my nerves, I was like, I'll just
Yeah.
get a drink, you know. And then when I got on stage, it was just an open mic locally. Somebody talked me into doing it because I had started blowing up, and they were like, you should try stand up. Well, I've been writing stand up for years and just never had the balls to go try it. So I'm sitting down there working my nerves up, and I stand up, and as soon as I stand up, I'm like, man, I've had too many. And I got up there and luckily killed. And I think that's the only reason I kept doing it. If I'd have got up there and just bombed, I think that would have been the end of my stand-up story. But I forgot half of the stuff I wanted to say, but the stuff I did say ended up being funny.
Was a lot of it just from the cuff? You just kind of went to rolling with it?
Well, I knew...
Or you had some of it scripted out, you just didn't know how you were going to line it up?
Right. I tell people when they're like, how long you been doing stand-up? I was like, I'm kind of my whole life. If you're at work and I'm talking to 20 people and I'm telling them this story, it's pretty much stand-up. So I just got some of my good stories that I'd told at the steel mill over the years and just told them to a crowd of people, and they worked.
Wow. That's got to be a terrifying and a lonely experience to get up there when it ain't all lining up for you, though. I can stand on stage and sing, it doesn't, but speaking in public speaking has always terrified me.
See, it was my favorite thing. In college, it was my favorite class.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I failed the rest of them. But I did. I love public speaking. I don't know. It does feel like you're up there naked whenever you... It feels like an hour, and it might just be a minute where you're trying to think of what your next joke is. It's that panic that you get in your head, like, what did I forget? What's next? What's next?
Do you
What's
come
next?
up with like a little vampy kind of thing, like while you're thinking of the next thing?
Yeah, it's almost like just filler words. Like, yeah, man, you know, if I just finished with something about my grandpa, I'd be like, well, you know, that's just how he was. That's great. And in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? What am I going to say? What, you know? And then you got to remember. So I noticed a lot of comedians do it, especially for the longer, like hour-long sets. I'll make myself like a poster board that just says one word on it, like grandpa's dogs or school bus or whatever the joke starts about. That way I can remember. If I just finished school bus, I'm like, oh, next I go into smoking. Okay, I'll do that.
So I remember before I came to Nashville, when I was just doing the bar circuit, I devised this system because I never had a set list. I just start out, tell the band we were going to start with one song. Well,
yeah.
I got color-coded poster board, like pink and fluorescent pink and green and yellow and red, etc. So one of them had ballads on it. One of them had up-tempo rock and roll on it. One had two steps on it. One of them had waltzes on it. So I had everything broken down, and I laminated them so when I spilled beer on them, I didn't ruin my card.
Yeah.
And I would just throw them down on the floor, and then I could call anything if I felt the flow of the room changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked really well, man.
That's actually a good idea.
Laminate your cards, brother. So when people spill stuff on them, you don't have to go remake them for the next night.
I have to write mine every time.
Yeah, there you go. It works out pretty well like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that now.
Yeah, man, that's got to be pretty cool, man. So this is going to be the first full tour, and you know, what do you got overhead gas?
Yeah, that's it. And
I'll pay yours this year. You pay mine.
Every now and then I have to bring my own opener, but most of the time the clubs offer, you know, the local opener, so I don't even have to pay them.
All you gotta do is just show up. They got the mic. They probably even feed you too, don't they?
Oh, they usually put
Sometimes.
me up. Yeah, they usually put me up at least, cover room. So it's just gas.
Who? What were the people that you started following that really for timing and different things? And for example, like Mitch Hedberg is one of my favorite comedians of all time.
Mitch. Yeah.
And I dug around and I found some of the early stuff before he found his rhythm.
Yeah.
And before he got his voice, you know, there was a certain cadence to the way and what he
he's
did.
His own.
But he didn't always have that. He developed that. There was about a year or two when he was searching for it, and you can find some of those stand-up performances where he was still searching. Man, it's pretty fascinating to see. And when he locked it in, man, he had it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, nobody else can do what he did.
Absolutely not.
I could do his jokes word for word right now, and they would not be the same at all.
Just the tone and the timbre of his voice and his delivery and his timing. I mean, but it took him a while to get all that lined up.
My favorite little bitty joke of his is when he's like, rice is great whenever I want to eat 200 or 2,000 of something. You know, it's just like, what?
The
Who
way
thinks
his brain,
of that?
The way his brain worked, man, it was just insane.
I don't understand who thinks of that. It's crazy. crazy.
So who else was inspirational to you?
My favorite comedian ever is Bill Burr.
I love Bill.
I love Bill Burr. I like Chappelle, but like even Jeff Foxworthy and those guys growing up when I was little, like that was a big deal to watch. My grandparents and everybody loved Jeff Foxworthy.
I love those guys too, and I've got to hang out with Ingval some and Foxworthy over the years, and even Ron White, man. White,
I love
before
Ron
White stopped drinking, man. Ron just get red faced, man. You just had to love him.
I bet.
Oh yeah, he just throw it out there.
He's got like a new surge going on. He's resurfaced. He's
he did
really killing it now.
You know, I said, well, he played my golf tournament a couple of years ago, and we had breakfast together, and we were just talking. He told me he was struggling to remember things. He'd kind of gone through a little funk, and then I think he was down in Austin, and he just started going out and just doing little short sets at the
riding
mothership,
a bike,
at the mothership, at Rogan's place, and he just started getting all of it back. But it took I don't know what happened, but he kind of lost it for a little bit.
I think it's literally just riding a bike, and if you get yourself among like. If you're doing stuff in Austin with those comedians, you're going to be hanging out with them all day. It just keeps you sharp.
Have you had a chance to go up there yet?
No, that's one place I want to go. Yeah. I'd love to go there. Even if it was just to do Kill Tony, I'd like to do that.
Yeah, Kill Tony's great.
Shoot, yeah.
Kill Tony's awesome.
How many places you got lined up this year? You got the whole thing booked out? Or
no, not the whole thing. I'm through June right now.
Yeah.
So it's like 10 or 15 so far.
So you just hung up the steel mill job and everything?
Oh, yeah. I hung it up before I ever even started doing stand-up. I just hung it up just social media.
Was the social media doing that good for you?
It was.
That's awesome.
What the guys at work say to you when you like, look here now?
Well, yeah, most of them are your good buddies are happy for you, and then a lot of them's like, he ain't going. You know what I mean? They're jealous, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's got to be scary too.
That was the scariest thing I've ever done. Quitting that job.
and then trying to maintain it and developing and growing and moving forward and building a fan base and expanding it out. It's a pretty cool journey. It's got to be fun.
It's wild. It feels like it feels like it's like a little bit, and then it's just everything. Like you just all of a sudden you're strapped to this rocket ship and you're just trying to hold on a little bit. Like
yeah.
Did you ever have a moment where you're like, oh my God, what did I do? I just quit my job.
So I went and played in your golf tournament last year with T-Far, and I played with Gary Allen, got paired up with him and his guitar player Levi, and I got home and I had work the next day, and I told Courtney, I was like, something just don't feel right. I just played golf with Gary Allen at Tracy Lawrence's celebrity golf tournament. And now I got to go back to work at the steel mill tomorrow. I was like, I'm quitting.
How supportive
So
was she?
you made me quit my job.
Well, thank you very much. I have that effect on people.
You made me quit my job.
He made me quit my job too.
I didn't have a job.
Yeah, you did. You worked at the sound studio.
But something didn't. I'm telling you, I went into work the next day, and it's like one of those things. You walk in there, and somebody walks up to you like, we're gonna have a bad day today. You guys need to get out there, and you're just like, I quit.
Wow.
I quit.
How supportive was your wife through that whole process?
Anytime I'd come home with like a bad day, because I mean, the steel mill, you have a lot of good days, but you have a lot of shitty ones too. So especially working 2 weeks of days, 2 weeks of nights, I'd come home and sometimes be in a bad mood from having a real long night covered in soot and all this stuff. She'd be like, why don't you just quit? And I was like, I can't quit yet, even though I could have. I could have quit long before I quit. It was just one of those.
A security thing.
Yeah, I mean, it could end tomorrow type of thing.
Especially when you got a young child at home and a mortgage and bills and all those things, man.
And luckily, she has a really good career, so I was like, I'm doing it, whatever. Got home from your tournament and said, I'm doing it.
That's awesome, man. So what are some highlights that you're looking forward to this year? Are you going out the West Coast? Or are you playing some?
I'm going. I got a pretty big show in Phoenix, Arizona that I'm excited about. That'll be the biggest one.
What's the club out there?
Tempeh, I think it's called.
I've been there.
It's like the Tempeh Improv or something like that. It's a big seater. That'll be the biggest show that I've done so far. I'm excited about that one.
Man, it's been amazing watching Theo blow up, hasn't it?
Man.
And I haven't had a chance to meet him.
That's another guy, Mitch. He's got that Mitch Hedberg brain. Their brains are so different. He
sold out back-to-back shows at the freaking Bridgestone in Nashville coming up.
That's insane,
It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know how... who would have thought that comedy would be able to do that, man? I did go see the Redneck Comedy Tour when they were there, when all four of them were on stage, and that was pretty amazing. But to know Chappelle and these guys can actually come in and sell 20,000 tickets, man. That's crazy.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Kill Tony sold out Madison Square Garden like 2 nights in a row.
That's
No
right.
kidding.
That's right.
Wow.
Kill Tony's a huge deal too. Theo's mind, I'll listen to him on his podcast, and I don't think anybody else's mind in the world works the way his does.
It's a little warped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna hit more than he misses, but when he misses, you're like, what in the world is he talking about?
Yeah.
And I still laugh just because it's so ridiculous.
I watched his interview with Trump, man. He just laid it all out there. Trump's like, he was talking about doing blow and all this stuff, and Don's just like,
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell when he gets a real serious one on there that half the time you'll look at their camera and they'll be like, what is he? And Theo, he'll let the silence be there and just start talking about something else. It don't bother him at all.
yeah. Have you had an opportunity to start looking at doing any big packages like that, or grouping up with other comedians? And
they pitched something to me recently about would I be interested in that, and I was like, of course. I don't know why. Who would turn that down? Even if I wasn't a headliner, I would love to just go, because then you learn. You're going to learn.
Well, you're going to be in front of more people, and
Exactly.
That's just part of the whole process. It's like going out and getting on a big tour when you're just starting out, and being in front of those crowds and in that setting.
Exactly.
It's part of the development process.
And I think a lot of people nowadays, because of social media, they miss that. They go ahead and skip that whole part of it. Like somebody gets popular on social media and they're like, I'm going to go sell out all these shows by myself before they've even honed how to do stand-up or anything like that. So then these people come to see you and you went up there for 10 minutes, then you signed autographs for 30, and I think they'll come see you. I just don't think they'll come back.
How hard is it to go from doing 10 minutes to doing an hour and try to hold that crowd?
It's rough. But there is a difference. Like whenever it's your show, because you're who they came to see, so they're ready to laugh at you. It's not like I went and did New York, and it wasn't my show. I was just on a show with all these other big comedians, and that's a harder laugh to get. So I told myself going up there, you can't have any like trial material. You give them your hits.
Do you find in places like New York that are much more urban that the type of humor that you have and the jokes with the grandpa skit and everything don't translate as well?
Well, see, that's
as
that
some
was
of those
my
more
fear.
northern markets.
That was my fear. But I've learned by doing New York that everybody still at least knows somebody like that, or they're fascinated that anybody would live this way. It's that type of thing.
Yeah, the only restaurant we got's Hunt Brothers Pizza at the Easy Mark.
Look, I've been writing this joke, and I don't know how to do it, but my son, whenever he was like 2 years old, we go to the pediatrician. My wife comes home, and she's like, they said we need to start potty training, and I was like, okay. And she's like, she had some recommendations, and I was like, okay. She's like, she said just take his diaper off and let him go outside and let him feel what it feels like. And I was like, what kind of Alabama shit is this? I don't see anybody in New York following their kids around Central Park with a doggy bag. It's crazy. I was like, a doctor told you this?
Only in Alabama.
Yeah, just let them shit in the yard. I was like, what?
No, let him go shit in the neighbor's yard.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what? I just see it waving at the neighbors. Yeah,
Dude,
no, potty training.
Potty training.
I got the greatest story I got to tell you, and I won't even tell you who it is. A friend of mine, I had to, we were talking about the situation with the lawn care people and everything. Well, this guy, he had his boss had helped him get a lawn care service. He bought him some lawnmowers and everything. And the guy's son was going to be his first client, and he's a politician and everything. So he came over that day, and the guy set up everything. It was his very first yard and everything. So he mowed the yard and everything. Well, during the lawn process, he had to take a shit.
Yeah.
So he just decided there wasn't nobody home. He went in the backyard over in the corner of the fenced-in yard and took him a big old dump. Okay? Well, when my buddy got home, they have a big giant white dog, and the dog had gone out the doggy door and got out there and rolled in the shit.
Oh, no.
Came back in the house, got in him and his wife's bed, and rolled all over the bed.
Oh my god, dude!
He came in, and then he pulled up the video cameras from the house and saw
Oh
the guy,
my god!
saw the whole thing.
No, that's the best story I've ever heard.
Is that not great?
That's the best story I've ever heard. Imagine that.
Would you not freak the hell
Because
out?
first you're
Holy
thinking like,
shit.
you're thinking my dog just rolled in his own shit. He's never done that before.
No,
Then you pull up the camera and you're like, see,
human feces in your bed.
that's hilarious. Oh my god.
You got to find a way to use that dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing.
Isn't that great?
I was going to go because what happened is not as gross. I mean, maybe it's gross, but not as funny. What happened to me is my wife's letting my son potty train in the backyard. Potty train. He's just walking around naked. So he shits, and I'm like, oh, God. Of course, he's just like a dog. It's like the opposite. Like, instead of shitting in the grass, he's shitting on the concrete. So now I'm like, I've got to clean up his shit. So I go inside, and I come back out, and the shit's gone. And my bulldog's over there just,
You don't know whether to be grateful or grossed out.
Here's
a little of both.
I didn't have boys. I had 2 girls, so I missed this whole thing. But when we were in college, it used to be a game that we'd play to see who could pee over cars. You know, you can pressurize it a little bit, and you can spray all the way over station wagon if you want to. I wish I'd had a boy. How old do they have to be before you can teach them to pee over a car?
My son could pee over this bus right now.
See, there's an art to that, and you need to start early.
I
don't you think?
I don't understand where this pressure comes from. I miss it. I'm watching him, and I'm like, God almighty, son. I didn't know. Like, he'll be, it's almost fun to him. You'll see, because, you know, boys, they don't like to pee inside. So I'll watch him walk out the back door, and I'll see him standing there, and you can't see where he's peeing. You'll just see the stream from behind him over his head. He's just doing it for fun.
Isn't it great being able to take everyday life situations and find humor in them?
Exactly.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Because that's what people relate to, man.
Exactly.
It really is. With all the craziness and all the lying politicians and crap going on in the world, there's just something about good country humor and good fart jokes never go out of style.
Right.
I mean, that's
the
staples.
first thing that everybody has. That's everybody's first joke is a fart.
What was your first fart joke? Can you remember?
No, I don't.
I remember my latest one. I just hit our steel player right in the mouth, right as he's laying in the bunk.
Bus humor has its own charm, too.
I remember I used to be walking around Walmart with my brother, and my brother would just out of nowhere start screaming at me and be like, God, you stink, you fart. I would not have farted at all. It was just one of those like embarrassing type things. And that's just something everybody can laugh at.
We call it crop dusting.
Exactly.
When you walk down the aisle, and don't let my wife walk with me because I'll crop dust and I'll shift on over to the other aisle and leave it with her.
Yeah.
Blame it on her.
Well, the best place to do it somewhere like a plane or a concert where nobody would have a clue who it was. But my wife will pick mine out. She's like, that was you, wasn't it? I'm like,
she can recognize it.
What's wrong with you?
I can taste it. That's you.
Now that's one of it might not be my first fart joke, but that's my favorite, in bed with the wife at night. And then you're just sitting over there listening, and all you hear is her finally just be like, God! That's the best one.
Sitting there trying not to giggle before she does it.
So you got brothers and sisters?
Yep,
I got anything from them, the stuff from when you grew up?
Yes, I tell a lot of stuff about me and my brother. I got one full brother and then a half brother, half sister that are a lot younger than me. But I tell a lot of jokes about me and my brother just growing up and like this little raggedy trailer we lived in and the crazy stuff we would do in it. I love that we grew up in this raggedy trailer. But my grandpa would be like, you ain't letting no dog in this nice house. I'm like, I can feed him through the bedroom floor. I think he's doing better than us.
I can feed him through the bedroom floor.
Yeah, I can take a shit and pet the dog at the same time.
He just brought a possum in.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh, man. I love country humor, man.
Well, I think the thing is that everybody realizes in the grand scheme of things, we're not all the same as far as everything, but at the core, we're all pretty much the same.
As you're starting to travel around the country and everything, do you notice a different mentality in different pockets of the country?
For sure.
People, they season their food different. They think different. I mean, and it's you kind of break it down to regions. You got the Southeast, from like Texas all around through the South and Tennessee and Alabama. It's kind of got its own kind of culture.
It does.
And then you move up, and I mean, it changes from place to
does.
place. Does that affect your set list and how you approach things?
There's some things.
Are you starting to work it out still?
Yeah, there's some things that I know that I won't do in certain places. Like this place in Virginia, the guy's telling me, the guy that booked me on it, he's like, we're a really small town. If you could not do any F-bombs or anything like that, or maybe certain jokes, I was like, well, there's half my set that's gone. There's a lot of places like that. Or like every now and then you'll do like a really, really like a liberal crowd or something like that, and you're like, no, some of this stuff's not going to work there, that type of thing. But for the most part, in the South, everything's usually they can at least relate to it.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Because we all have some granddads.
Or at least know somebody. They got a crazy uncle or whatever it is. Somebody knows somebody. Or even if they don't, they're laughing at it like, I know some trashy people like that or whatever it may be.
You either are that guy or you know a guy like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's we're all the same down here.
Yeah, pretty much. We're kind of, I guess we call it drinking the same water. That's what we all do.
Exactly.
What's the latest joke you're working on? I know you told the one about your kid. What's the latest grandpa joke you're working on?
I just texted my wife one yesterday. I'll tell it to y'all because y'all are worth it.
All right.
It said, God, give me 1 second. Jerry's new girl so ugly she has to give her vibrator Viagra. Is that one?
I love it.
That's awesome.
I love it.
So have you always been doing the voice too?
Yes, it's my grandpa. That's who I'm impersonating. He's still alive and well.
What does he
I
think about all
sound just
this?
like him. My grandpa bumps into everybody and tells them he's a celebrity. Everybody. That's like the first thing he tells them now. He loves it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a celebrity. Look up Southern Grandpa on the internet. He's like,
It's all about me.
I've been in some of them videos. I put him in one or two of them. Those they always do well.
Put him on a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I'm fixing to put my mom on a Time Marches On T-shirt. She's gonna be my sexy grandma.
I'm
kidding you.
Have you cleared this with her?
I have. She just did a photo shoot with her.
My mom is your biggest fan, actually.
Is she really?
She hung out with you in the '90s, and
Oh Lord, you're not my son, are you?
no, in Mobile. Her and her friend. Now I don't know if you fathered them kids, but yeah. Well, so I grew up on you, man. That Time Marches On is my favorite song.
That was a big record, man.
Yeah, it's and I tell people all the time. I'm not saying it's my favorite song by you. It might not be everybody's or the best song that you've ever done, but it's my favorite because it takes me back to a childhood place.
What I loved about that song was, it's so well written that it just talks about multiple generations in like 3 minutes. It covers a lot of ground in a short period of time, and it's Bobby Braddock. That's a masterpiece to me.
Oh man, it's amazing. And I got videos of my son when he can barely talk, singing every word that Time Marches On.
No kidding.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
How old is he now?
6.
Oh yeah, he got all kinds of stuff to get into.
Oh yeah. He's just getting started.
My goodness. Where are you going to after this? You said you got Nash. You got Zanies coming up.
Yep, I do. I got a 3-day stretch there: Zanies, Huntsville, and Atlanta. I got Lebanon, Virginia, the end of this month. So starting next weekend.
Yeah.
When you were working at the steel mill, what was your job? What did you do?
I was a side trimmer, which is like the steel gets pickled and then it rolls, and then a customer might need it to a certain width.
So were you just making rolled steel? Is that what you planned? You weren't making beams or nothing?
I was trimming rolled steel. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it was rough. Not the best job, but it paid well, and it had good benefits, and it's just one of those things where
one of the bigger industries down here.
Yeah. At the end of the day, they really don't give a shit about you. So, you got that.
Yeah, I guess it's probably a location too. Is a lot of it transporting on ships going off
right?
the coast
Because we live right here on the river and right here at the state dock.
So if you're doing roll steel, you're getting materials brought into you. You're not smelting or doing anything. You're not doing the raw process or any of that. You're just putting it in sheets.
They are now. They just built a melt shop. Before that, they were getting slabs imported and then melting them down. But now they're going to be making their own slabs and everything after I've left. They were working on the melt shop before I left.
So what does that bring? You bringing iron ore in by ship and then melting everything down?
I suppose so. You're still going to get imports first.
I bet that's a hot freaking job, man.
It is. Especially, and on top of that, you're Mobile in July. Like, it's
my God.
It's already 110 degrees and feels like you're walking through butter. And then you have to wear long sleeve shirts. You have to wear long sleeve
hard
pants,
hat, head cover, gloves, the whole thing.
So it's miserable. Some days it look like you went swimming.
Yeah. When I was in high school, the two main jobs back home were the cement plant and the paper mill.
Yeah.
The cement plant was like one of the first ones in the United States, and back then they were still they had these big kilns that rolled, and they had big steel balls in them that would do the mash and everything. And I worked for a company in high school, and we got a contract to haul the dust and the waste out. Man, when you're around that hot stuff and those bins and everything.
Yeah.
Man, it's just miserable.
Yeah.
You can't get away with it. It's 120 freaking degrees.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
summertime. It's brutal.
And that's what most people do down here. We have because we're right on the river and right at the Mobile Bay at the state docks, all the way up our river is just plants, chemical plants, steel mills, fibers. So everybody tries to get those jobs because they're the best power plants, everything.
How's the economy feeling down here? I know we've been kind of sluggish, but are you starting to feel things come back down here with some of those industries?
A little bit, yeah, definitely. We're getting a lot of new stuff built too. Like we got a brand new Top Golf, new Dave & Buster's. A lot of things are exploding in the Mobile area.
That's awesome.
Where it felt stagnant for quite a while, and now it's like, where did they all come from? Like there's a million things at one time now.
That's awesome. Just creating jobs, man. That boosts the economy. You bring jobs back. People making a good living. They're a lot happier, man. They spend more money.
Well, I think that's what people didn't understand, or they pretend to not understand. These people are just voting for a better economy. They're wanting eggs to be cheaper. They don't give a shit about anything else.
We want a car note to go down.
Right, exactly.
Interest rates to drop. We want better
Your
grocery
average
prices.
everyday American, that's what they want. They want to be able to afford to be able to have fun.
How political do you feel like you can get with a lot of things that are going on, current and relative things? Do you try to steer clear from some of it? Is it a pocketed thing? We talked a little bit about it.
Yeah, it just depends, I guess. Like, I am never going to get up there and be some big political advocate or whatever, but I miss the days more when you could disagree with somebody and we could still be friends.
Amen.
Like that's
absolutely.
When I was a kid, I'm not saying when that person left the room, they might not turn to their friend and be like, that sucker's crazy. But they would be cordial with them and talk, and you could go hunting together. You could be friends with somebody. I just don't understand this. So I'll never listen to another song he writes, or I'll never watch another movie they did. I'm like, why? That's crazy.
I know, but after De Niro running all, it's really hard. It's really hard. He's lost his freaking mind, man.
He might have, but Goodfellas is still a great movie.
It's still a great movie, but I wouldn't watch anything new.
Oh, man, I can see that. I can see that. It's just, I don't know. I just miss those days where it wasn't just a cut line down the middle. You had to join a team. Most people, if you talk to them, they're more like, yeah, we should be harder on this, but nah, I'm okay with that.
Had some engineer guys in town working on some real estate things, and we were having dinner the other night, and one of them is very left leaning, and we were talking politics a little bit, and he was kind of getting a little snarky with me. And I said, listen, we should really focus on the things that unite us instead of the things that divide us, because really and truly we have more in common. Most of us really want to find center.
They do,
and all the extremes on both sides are getting really exhausting. I think we should all be tired of it.
The left is sure enough, like they've just went batshit crazy. I don't even understand. They've swung so far that it's just
I can't.
No logical thinking person would be
totally unrelatable in our society, and
right.
And I want everybody to be successful. I think we live in a country where everybody has the opportunity to make a change in life and be the best you can be and chase a dream and whatever. We have that ability to do that here. Most countries don't.
Exactly,
and we should be proud of that and stop fighting amongst ourselves.
I agree.
We need to laugh more and fight less.
Yeah, that's exactly, and that's how you find common ground. Stuff like that.
Man, how much profanity do you use, and how do you find that it's a timing thing if you use it sparingly? You go back to guys like Jerry Clower. Jerry Clower never said a cuss word in his life.
He didn't.
But how funny was he?
Exactly. And I have battled with that a little bit because I've had people that were more successful than me reach out and say, hey, man, maybe just not the cussing or whatever. And then I sit and think about it, and I'm like, I agree with that. There's so many people that are hilarious. Nate Bargatze, Justy Slay, guys that I really look up to and enjoy. And then I'm like, but there's also Bill Burr. There's also Dave Chappelle. There's also Eddie Murphy. And Ron White. And I just think about it, and I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to change me to cater to whatever. So I'm just going to keep it. I'm not overly vulgar. I don't tell a bunch of filthy jokes or whatever. I'm just myself, and myself is vulgar a lot. I mean, I use a lot of profanity. Not a ton. I don't overuse it. I use it where it's necessary, but I would never be like, I just can't cuss anymore. I wouldn't feel like myself. Put it that way.
I find the F word is probably the most versatile word in the entire English language.
Right.
You can use it. I mean, it just fits right in there.
Exactly. And it's my second favorite F word. I'm telling you, I love it.
It's you can use it on just about everything. You don't agree?
I'm laughing about the second favorite F word.
But I do. I love. I don't know. There's something to it. It's got some punch to it. You know, you can use
if you use it in the right spot.
You can use it in the right spot. It'll really bring a joke home.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't feel like changing myself for anything, especially since I've already, had some success as me. I don't think there's any reason to be like, well, let's switch it up now.
I remember seeing Raw in the theaters when it came out. My high school girlfriend and I went and saw it, and it was shocking. I mean, he kind of got to that back third of the show, and he just went off the rails. That's when it really got raunchy. But I always loved Eddie Murphy. I mean, Richard Pryor growing up too.
Oh yeah,
Richard
exactly.
Pryor was awesome, man.
Did you ever hear that story that Eddie Murphy told about Rodney Dangerfield?
Oh yeah, where he had seen him years before,
right?
And then they wound up at a urinal next to each other, and Eddie's there, and he looked, and Dangerfield looked at him and said, "Who knew?"
Yeah, he had told him, he said, "Kid, I don't know where you're gonna go with all that cussing and racial stuff."
Who knew?
Who knew? That's a great example. Eddie Murphy was just like, he could have listened to Rodney Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield's a well-established person, and then we wouldn't have Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. But I think the whole thing is you've got to be comfortable with who you are. If you try to change who you are, you're going to get up there, and it's not going to translate well.
And every now and then you'll see people change, not because of maybe advice, but like you'll see the success or something get to them, and they'll form like a little bit of arrogance about themselves.
Yeah, Blake Shelton used to wear a cowboy hat.
But then you'll see the comedy start to suffer. You'll be like, that guy, he's not funny anymore, and that's the reason why. I think a lot of the times is they get a little full of themselves.
Do you think through the last 4 years that we've had when all the DEI stuff, and it looked like it got to a point there for a while that it was harder to be a comedian. There were so many parameters, and you had to be real careful about what you were saying. Is that loosening back up?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I
think a lot of what goes with it now is that how would somebody cancel me? They can't. Nobody owns me. I make all my content myself. So people are becoming uncancelable. And then even on top of that, like your Netflix and people like that, they're really letting people push the edge again. I think the days of the cancel culture are over.
I'm going to ask some questions because I'm curious about the process. So when you started making content, it was just you. How did you acclimate yourself to being able to post things? You said you had the one that your wife posted got 10,000 views. What was the biggest one to date that you've had? What was the biggest number that you've had from a single post?
I got a video that I did about playing Mario Kart with my son. It starts out with me. He's sitting there and he's like, "Daddy," it's called playing Mario Kart with your kids. And he's like, "Daddy, will you let me win one time?" And I was like, "Sure, I will, buddy." And then you hear the Mario Kart stuff playing, and he looks back over. I'm in full Ricky Bobby suit, and I'm flipping him off.
First, you last.
Yeah, I'm flipping him off, and it's got like 50 million views. Like it's it's insane.
That's crazy.
That and Would You Hit Your Wife for $5 Million did about the same numbers. And it's a slow-mo of me just crow hopping her. Anything like that where it's either relatable or something you're really going to push the edge on, I just did one recently about Buc-ee's.
That's one of my favorites, dude.
Yeah,
I've sent it to the whole group. I don't think you've seen it.
I don't think I've seen it yet.
So I'm at Buc-ee's, and I'm telling my wife, and I'm pronouncing it wrong on purpose. And that's another thing, is that these people will get mad at you and call you stupid for saying something wrong. And the irony is that they're too stupid to realize it's a joke. That's the funniest part about it. But I'm at Buc-ee's, and I got my wife there, and I was like, "I'm happy to be at Bush's. Go in there and get me a big Bush's sandwich. Let that Bush's juice." And it did about the same numbers.
Oh, that's awesome.
People, and most of the people comment like, "How do you whistle when you talk?" And that's something me and my wife do to each other back and forth. Like all day, I'll just be like, "Baby, what's going on?" I just, "What's for supper?" And I taught her how to do it. So now she'd be like, I'll put a little salt and pepper on there.
Has your son started doing it yet? Because he will.
He tries. He'll come up to me in my ear and he'll be like, salt and pepper.
We are a product of our environment for sure.
I love it.
Yeah, but Bush's did a lot. That did big numbers too.
My wife, so her and her sister, and they took a little trip down to the beach there in Sandestin this week. And of course, when you come through Huntsville, there's a Bushy's there, and she's got this tumbler cup fetish. I mean, literally, she just cleaned. She just threw half of a cabinet full away, and she was so proud. She said, "I went to Buc-ee's, but I didn't buy a cup." Thank God you just threw 20 away because we ain't got no place to put the ones we got.
I got so aggravated. My wife, she's like, I fixed the problem. And I was like, okay, what is it? And she opens our pantry door, and hanging on it looks like a shoe rack, but she's got cups in all of them. She's got 30 cups hung on the back of the pantry door.
Can't you just get one that you just carry with you?
I don't even understand it.
I don't understand it either.
We'll be standing in line, and
look at that cup right there.
These people have gotten smart. They put them by the register. So my wife will be standing there holding $100 worth of shit and look over there and say, "Oh my, that's leopard printed cup."
The bad thing is,
what does it matter?
Everything I do, every gift basket, everything that I do in the industry comes with a damn cup.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna put a cup in there.
I'm pretty sure you put a cup in my bag.
I'm pretty sure, probably so. Lindsey did that. So as you go through this process, man, what do you think it's going to take to get you a Netflix show?
I don't know.
I mean, do they look at it by viewership? I mean,
no way. There's no way.
Well, that's what record labels look at now when they're signing people.
True.
I mean, there's got to be some correlation.
I think a lot of the time it's not like there'll be some people where I think the same thing. You know, I go through this process too because my dream.
There's obviously what you're trying to get to.
My dream would be to have a Netflix. My dream would be to be in like a comedy movie, but I'd love to have a Netflix special. But I'll see people getting Netflix specials, and I'll just be like, well, let's go see, what they're doing. Go check out their pages. Little to no views. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like maybe they have more. They have good ticket sales. It could be something along those lines. A lot of the times, I've noticed it doesn't really correlate.
So do y'all turn ticket numbers into SoundScan or what the Ticketmasters? I mean, we look at all that stuff. We have algorithms and everything that kind of watches. I have something that y'all turn your ticket sales and stuff into to kind of keep up with what your numbers have been for the year.
I don't know because this will be my first time doing it. So
gotcha. That's
probably
pretty interesting.
There's
got to be something.
I would think so.
To be able to validate and say, okay, I've got this much going on. I did this many. I got in front of this many eyes this year on my hard ticket sales, and I mean, there's got to be a way to keep up with all that.
And I don't know. A lot of these things, like I've heard of people filming their specials themselves and then maybe selling them to platforms. So a lot of that probably goes on too.
Like Ari Shaffir, I think he released his straight to YouTube.
Right. A lot of people are doing that. If nobody will buy it, they'll just put it on YouTube. I know Ginger Billy just came up with one. I'm not saying he tried to sell it or anything, but I know he just released his on YouTube. Same thing. It did well. It's got millions of views, which is awesome.
It's probably harder to sell those things nowadays. It's not like back in the days.
It's an oversaturated market.
And Red Fox and everything. Well, physical sales just don't translate that well anymore on any level.
That's true.
Music and everything too, because everything's so readily available on streaming or through Spotify or whatever.
Even movies. I heard them talking about the other day that a lot of the networks and stuff don't want to take big risk movies because back in the day you'd make it all back at the box office.
Yeah.
And that's gone.
Ain't nobody going to the movies. I mean,
exactly.
Last one that I went and saw was Deadpool, the new Deadpool. Me and the kids and my wife went and saw it, and it was probably about a third full. And that was right when it came out, and it was one of the biggest movies of the last year.
Exactly. Yeah. We went and saw. My wife and them wanted to go see Wicked. Went and saw that, and
you like that? That's pretty woke.
It was wild. I didn't know it existed prior or anything. I didn't know nothing going into it. I just got drugged to the movies and watched it, and but it was full. But even still, there wasn't a lot of people there. Like there was, it seemed like for all the other movies, nobody was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole theater was just in that room, and everything else was empty. That type of thing.
Yeah, it's really changed. And now with man, you can go to Sam's Club and get a 100-inch flat screen TV for $2,000, a nice one. And why do you ever want to go anywhere else and see anything when you can hang that sucker in the living room, man? I'm telling you,
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true. Every now and then though, I do miss the like you go see like a big scary movie in the theater. I remember I used to do a backflip in my seat when they jump out, and then all the speakers on the wall would hit you with that big noise at the same time.
Yeah,
there's something about that, or just going to see like a Tarantino type movie on a big screen, like. It's just a different experience.
It really is, man, and I need to make myself do it more, but it's just
it's hard. We never do it either. I'm sitting here talking, but we never go.
Yeah.
Just going out to dinner about all.
A lot of the movies come out straight to the stream too, so you don't even have to. You don't even have a time period where they're back in the day you'd be like I'd wait to get that on DVD. Like that's gone. It just comes out. Yeah, everywhere.
But you have so many choices and everything now on all your streaming platforms. I mean, you've got little 10-episode series and things that are coming out, like Landman and all that stuff that we all get wrapped up in.
Is that your thing, Landman?
I liked Landman. It was really good, but I
haven't seen it. I've heard so much good stuff about it.
We all got into Yellowstone and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
that whole process.
I never watched Yellowstone. I just finished. I'm so behind. Me and my wife started Ozark like.
I watched Ozark
6 years ago. I just finished it
my
last
favorite
week.
scene in Ozark. So I grew up in Southwest Arkansas, so right in the foothills of the Ozarks. My favorite scene, I think it was like the 4th or 5th episode in season 1. It's when what's his name? Jason Bateman. So he was going around and he had gone to the strip club and he had gone to the bar and he was trying to work these deals of places to launder money. And so he was in the strip club and he was trying to cut a deal. And there was a girl on the stage on a pole, and she was about 8 months pregnant. Yep, that's Ozarks right there, son. They nailed that. It's like, yeah, man, I don't want to see that.
That's a great show, though.
Yeah, it really was good.
I hated the ending, though.
Until Ruth got killed at the end.
Yeah,
I hated it. That's when it's like, dang it, man.
I would have been okay if Ruth got killed if they also killed Wendy. I could not stand Wendy.
Ruth was ruthless, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Ruth. I loved her.
Yeah, I've seen her in quite a few other things.
I could not stand Wendy. I couldn't stand her.
Yeah. I love good shows like that. Have you noticed, though, as it seems like that the quality of scripts, because there's so much demand for scripts, there's so many platforms out there that are looking for original content, that they'll get a script and there might be sections of it that are written well, but they're shooting more B-roll content. So there's not as much dialogue. It's not as concise. They're dragging things out because they don't have enough scripts to use.
Exactly.
So they're stretching things out to build more episodes to keep you engaged. But a lot of it's driving down the road, looking out the window. There's not as much interaction and content as what there used to be. You used to try to get all that stuff in.
I completely agree. And a lot of the times they'll come out with a show that they planned on being 2 seasons and say it's a hit. They're like, well, hell, we got to figure out how to make 8 seasons of this. And then their other 6 suck.
Yeah.
Because they had a great idea that they should have just ended with.
Either that or they go through a season or 2 and it's really good, and then they just have to get over dramatic with all of it.
Exactly.
Then it's like they try to push it and push it and push it until it just gets absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, which is what Grey's Anatomy has done.
Yeah. I agree.
My wife, I used to actually be okay watching Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
I used to like it.
For about the first 3 or 4 seasons.
And then after that, I'm like, how many times are these people almost going to die? This is crazy. Yeah.
It's like watching soap operas when you were a kid. I used to love Days of Our Lives and stuff.
Young and the Restless.
Young and the Restless as the world turns. But those characters could go off and get amnesia and come back as a completely different person and start a whole new life, and you just buy into it.
Yeah.
It's like that person died, but he came back as this person. It's just insane what they can do.
What was so great about Seinfeld is none of the episodes really had anything to do with each other.
No.
It was just a fresh new start. You could just make a show about whatever you wanted to the next time.
I love Seinfeld.
If somebody died, it was almost like South Park. If somebody died on the last episode, they could be back. Who cares? Yeah. Who gives a shit? Look.
Dude, what do you do in your off time, man? You go out and fish. You down here on the coast. You like to
I
fish?
fish a lot.
Yeah. You like to speck fish. You do intercoastal stuff.
I'm mostly just largemouth. I love bass fishing.
Oh, so you like the freshwater more than the saltwater.
Yeah. I'll go out in the bay every now and then, calls away, but most of the time I'm up the river.
Yeah.
And then hunting season, I hunt as much as I can. It's getting to where I don't get as much because I'm so busy, but anytime I can, I go. I went to South Texas for the first time and hunted, and that was fun.
South Texas, a high fence place.
Yeah, it was.
Those are pretty freaking awesome. A lot of exotics and stuff down there.
Yeah, it was like 38,000 acres. It was insane.
Yeah, and the exotics, man. That's the last place that we go to, man. They've got oryx and axis deer and fallow and black buck and stag and just all kinds of
Crazy.
stuff. And just tons of whitetail and tons of those big Rio turkeys that are this freaking big. You ever see them? They run them like a little motorcycle game.
Yeah.
You'll be there, the feeder will go off, and all of a sudden they running in with no shoulders. Just they're funny to watch, man.
Yeah.
They kill me.
It's a different world out there.
It
It's
is,
a different world. Like the place we went had everything you needed on this compound. It was nothing near it anywhere within 100 miles. It's just crazy.
How's the whitetail population here? Are they small like they are in South Louisiana?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
We don't grow giants.
Yeah, that not down here. I guess it's the swamp characteristics.
It's that,
of the
and then it's a
topography.
lot of like if it's got horns, shoot it type of mentality down here. Yeah, we got a lot of that.
Yeah, that's
What's crazy is you'll get a hunt club and you're like, all right, we're going to do this okay, but you got 1,000 acres, and then around that 1,000 acres is everybody's house with a spotlight. All those deer are not making it.
No, and they'll shoot a spike as soon as they see horns.
Oh,
on top of it.
yeah.
If you got a horn that tall, he's down.
My grandpa will say big sausage, little sausage. He don't care.
Lord have mercy.
He just didn't kill does. My grandpa would not kill does.
Really.
He
I
wouldn't
like
touch
me a
them.
doe now.
Oh, yeah.
I got a yard full of them. I came home the other day. I think I had 15 in the front yard. My wife won't let me shoot off the porch, so
Oh yeah,
yeah, I'm not allowed to.
I completely understand that.
Yeah. But I thought about it.
Oh yeah. Well, my grandpa and them didn't really understand like population control or any of that. He's just like, don't kill the does. That has the babies. I'm
You
like,
need to kill the doe.
yeah, you got to kill some of them.
gotta-
You got to kill some.
Yeah, it's part of managing the ecosystem.
Yeah, they didn't understand any of that. They're just like, well, we need the does to have more deer. Just leave them. Like, we just killed every buck you see with horns that high.
What's your biggest buck you've ever harvested?
The one I just killed in South Texas. It
No
was
kidding.
150.
No kidding.
Yeah, 10 point.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
There's some
I
monsters
was
down
tickled to death.
Do they have a breeding operation where you go? You seen any of that? Yeah. See, Texas, you can't bring anything in or anything out. Whitetail's tightly managed in the state of Texas.
Right, yeah.
So you can't even send straws out. You can't even.
He was telling me all the rules that they go by.
big
It's
time
crazy.
in Texas.
What they do is they net native does, and they learned that the native does would have like a 80% more survival rate than bringing, I guess, breeder does in.
Yeah.
So the does that they would turn out was having like a 80% more success rate, and the breeder does was like 50%. Like they were losing half of them every time.
Wow.
So they said that was a big. I got to meet the guy that flew the helicopter. He's flown all kinds of. He does the helicopter pig hunts.
But they
and
just
all
shoot
that.
nets out of them and everything.
Yeah, and then he does the pig hunts where they're shooting the pigs. I was like,
pretty
man,
fun.
nah, we've got to do that.
That's pretty freaking awesome. I've done it a couple of times. It's
Oh
back
yeah,
home, man.
you probably went with that guy. Did you do it in Texas?
Did it outside of Austin.
Yeah, it might have been him.
Yeah.
He had pictures with everybody.
Actually, it was on Del Morell's ranch outside of Austin. Del Morell has a Yellow Jacket bow targets, and he's got a whole
Okay.
so outdoor channel stuff that he's been doing for
This
a
guy
long
was
time.
Maxed Outdoors is who invited me out to do this, and we filmed an episode of his show.
Yeah.
And I was just happy to. I mean, it was cool as hell.
Do turkey hunting or anything else?
I don't. Usually, when deer season's over, I fish.
Yeah.
So I usually fish until it comes back around. I will dove hunt every now and then. I'm not big on duck hunting. It's too cold, too early.
Y'all don't have those peacock bass down here like you do in Florida, do you?
No.
Well, I wonder where that population breaks off. I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's got to be close because
I
it's not
think
that
they have to
far.
have that more tropical water. I think
Maybe
you get a little
so.
bit colder here than you do down in the bottom part of Florida.
Yeah, we got spots, largemouth, don't have smallmouth. All we got spots.
we love
and
some
largemouth.
smallmouth. We got a lot
Yeah,
of
we don't
smallmouth
have
in
any.
Tennessee.
No. Yeah, Tennessee's big.
Tennessee, like Dale Hollow's a huge smallmouth lake. Yeah.
Well, I go hang out with T-Far sometimes, and
Yeah, Tyler's got a nice place down. I think he's
right on the Duck River.
Yeah,
Yeah.
down in Columbia.
Yeah.
We've kayaked that river a lot, man.
And
That's an amazing body of
it's so
water.
crazy
Really,
because
it's
it
just
doesn't-
it's got like the largest ecosystem of like mussels and
Yeah.
wildlife and everything of any, like one of the most in the United
Most
States.
diverse, yeah.
Most diverse in the United
And I
States.
told him, I was like, what's crazy is I don't have a single river down here that looks like this at all.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have those shallow rock bottom type rivers. Like, you can run a bass boat in all of our rivers. You couldn't even take one there. You would destroy it.
No, there's no way you can.
No.
And you've got the duck, and then you've got the buffalo, which we've done too. Which
Right,
Junior lives down on the
I
buffalo.
did a show at the Buffalo River Resort.
No kidding.
With Tyler.
Dude, one of my best friends owns that place.
Moon?
Vincent Hickerson and Moon Troll.
Yeah. I did it with Big Vinny and Moon. I'm
Vinny.
good friends with Moon, both of those guys.
Hell yeah, man. Me too.
We'd never done the Harpeth. The Harpeth is a little bit deeper bodied though.
I think the Harpeth is shallow. It's like, because there was places when I kayaked that one, you could get out and it's like waist deep.
It just depends on the time, because I've had a boat with a motor on it in the Harpeth before, but it's been a long time ago. But I guess you just got to catch it at the right time.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. That's like our causeway. You know, if you get in here, people that don't know, if you'll get in the causeway out there in the bay and go to riding around and the north wind goes to blowing in, you're not coming back out. Coast Guards will have to come get you. It'll be flat ground out there. You can't see any water. It'll just be mud.
Wow.
And you'll be sitting out in the middle of it with a boat.
That's crazy.
That happens all the time. People that don't know any better.
What's the lake that dumps into? You got a dam system? I mean, I'm sure there's a lake body that you fish primarily on. What's the lake?
So not here. Like it all dumps into the bay, and it just spider webs.
So you basically just fish the river,
right? Gotcha. Exactly. We don't have. That's what makes us so odd. We don't have one of those big, like a Eufaula or Gunnersville or anything like that. It's just rivers into the bay.
Yeah, we've been coming up on crappie season. Go ahead.
Oh, speaking of crappie, dude, buddy of mine sent me a picture last night. He had like 30 of them laid down. Him and a bunch of his buddies went.
Yeah, we don't call them crappie.
Call them crappie.
We don't call them crappie.
Slabs.
Well, we do call them slabs, but we call them white perch.
Oh, really?
I've heard that term before, but I've never used it.
Louisiana's Sac-a-lay, and we're white perch, and most people. Yeah, Louisiana's Sac-a-lay.
I probably heard it.
I don't think I've ever heard that term, and I spent a lot of time in Louisiana, but I've never crappie fished down there.
On these peacock bass here,
Sac-a-lay.
It says the peacock. They're peacock bass. They're native to the tropical waters of South America, but they were only brought to Florida in the '80s to control the population of those Oscars.
Oh, so
so they were imports.
Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of Florida, though. People and animals.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff down there. The anacondas and
they started letting people hunt those pythons.
They need to.
Yeah, I mean, and they're all pets. That's crazy.
I don't want no snake for a pet.
I watched a guy hunting these things barefooted. I'm like, what's wrong with you, man? Yeah. I was taught, and I grew up. Like the first thing they always told you if you went outside and played or was going in the woods is like watch for snakes. And then there you can't see it. The water's at least that deep that they're walking in.
And that old myth about they won't bite you in the water's a bunch of crap.
Yeah, of course they will.
Bunch of crap.
It's crazy. Yeah. They said that you can't find like a coon or anything down there. They're all gone.
Oh yeah, they didn't kill them all.
Pythons ate everything.
Yeah, they eat all them nutria rats up. You ever eat a nutria?
I have not.
They say they're really good. Great white meat.
My grandpa's ate them.
Of course, them Cajuns eat anything, dude. Yeah, they'll pick it up off the side of the road.
My grandpa will too. He like the other day. He said, "Man," he said, "I've been telling my brother to get me about." He catches squirrels at his house because he's got a oak tree. He said, "Get me about 8 or 9 of them." He said, "I'm gonna get you Granny to make me some squirrel brains and gravy." It's his favorite thing. Squirrel brains and gravy.
Absolutely. Gravy.
And he'll wait for like 8 or 9 of them because I'm guessing a squirrel brain, I was like, I know that you
like eating a walnut.
Yeah. I know that you started that because you were poor, but like we're not anymore. You don't have to do that.
I guess he developed a taste for it.
Yeah, he loves it. I mean, it's like a delicacy.
Yeah. I guess everybody's got their own thing, man.
Have you ever had chocolate gravy and biscuits?
I've had biscuits and gravy. What's the weirdest thing that you eat? What's your weirdest?
So I've got a weird comfort food. So when I was in college and I was really poor, I would go to the grocery store once a week and I would buy the cheapest weenies I could buy, sometimes 2 packs for $1 or whatever, and I'd get a 10-pound bag of potatoes. Back then, you'd get a bag of potatoes for 99 cents.
Yeah.
And then I'd get the cheapest English peas I could find. So I would do boiled weenies because I'd boil all the red dye out of them. And then I would fry me some French fries, and then I'd have me English peas, and I could eat for a week on that. And I still, to this day, if I come home and I'm tired, I want boiled winnies, French fries, and English peas.
It's weird how that
except I use LeSueur peas now, and I use turkey winnies now. I use higher end shit now.
Yeah, you've stepped up your game. It's weird. Yeah, it's a comfort thing.
Yeah,
like mine's peanut butter, mayonnaise, and banana sandwich.
Yeah, that's some Elvis shit right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Peanut butter, mayonnaise, and banana.
I would have never tried it. My grandpa talked me into trying it because he ate it. And it was good. I've always just done peanut butter and banana because that's normal. But the mayonnaise, I'm like, what is,
Scott, give me a weird thing. What's the weirdest thing you eat?
Well, that wasn't far off from what you ate. It was just American cheese and peanut butter on a cracker, both of them.
Oh, yeah, I do that.
Yeah, I like that.
I've seen people put cheese on a honey bun before, and I thought that was odd. and microwave it.
Cheese on a Frito-Lay, plain tater chip.
Yeah. What?
Piece of cheese. You stick it over top of a tater chip, plain Frito-Lay, and then you peel off like like when you're putting dough on a pie. You know, they chop it off the edge of the pie pan there. So you just peel your cheese off to make it the size of your tater chip and then eat it. See?
I do that.
You put it in a microwave?
Yeah.
Huh? You put it in a microwave?
No, hell no. Ain't nobody got time for that. We starving. We eating cheese on tater chips.
That's like an hors d'oeuvre. That's a hillbilly hors d'oeuvre.
I've seen my grandpa take potted meat and put it on top of an oatmeal cream pie and eat it.
Dude, I remember we went on vacation several years ago. Oh, my God. And I remember eating potted meat sandwiches when I was a kid. Man. And it's like we were at the grocery store getting stuff. There was 4 couples, and we had a house. And so we always went to the grocery store and stocked up. And we'd cook throughout the week. And I said, there was a can of potted meat. I ain't had. Let's get some of that tried. That's some nasty shit.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, it's awful.
Terrible.
It's like you don't realize the crap that your mama feeds you when you're young.
Oh, yeah.
She fed us some crap. Boy.
Well, there's some stuff that I, even as a kid, where they're like, you know, if you don't eat, you're just going to be hungry, that I would just be hungry. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't eat sardines. My brothers love them. My brothers would eat them.
My mother decided that she was going to make ketchup one time. And she made this big old pot, and it was so vinegary, and it was real thin. It was like water thin. And she jarred it up, and she wouldn't buy any more ketchup until we ate all of it. Man, every time we got a jar of, man, we're pouring that shit down the sink, trying to get rid of it as fast as it was so bad. And she wouldn't buy no more ketchup. Man, I love ketchup.
Me too. And my grandparents used to make me so mad because it would get close to the bottom, and they'd pour water in it. No. I'd rather just not eat it than you water it down.
I saw something the other day about ketchup, that ketchup was like a medicinal thing when it first came out because it had all these vitamins and minerals. It was like the first multivitamin. Have you all ever heard that? The guy that invented ketchup, look it up.
I guarantee it's not now.
No, it's not. But when it was invented, they were saying you take a tablespoonful of it a day, and it had all these compounds and stuff that the guy created, but it was still tomato based. But that was the origin of ketchup.
Well, a lot of that stuff started
Am I telling you the truth?
Yeah, it says yes. Well, this is AI now. So it says tomato ketchup was once sold as a medicine, particularly in the 1830s, with claims of curing ailments like diarrhea, indigestion, and jaundice.
There you go. See the things that you learn on this podcast.
Everything started out better, you know. Like they used to put, Coca-Cola used to have cocaine in it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, the good old days.
Yeah, exactly. when you didn't know any better. I love you. It's like whenever you could smoke and or your doctor would come in smoking. You know those days. They didn't know it hurt
you could smoke on a plane. Yeah. I kind of don't miss that though.
Yeah, no. I remember going in restaurants as a kid and being like. Like, it was just everywhere. It was smoking or non-smoking.
I remember.
And I was a smoker. I smoked for a long time.
I did, too. I still like sneak one every now and then. I remember when I was 6 years old, I would spend, my mom married my stepdad when I was like 4, and we moved to Southwest Arkansas. My grandmother and my aunt still lived in Queen City, Texas, down in East Texas. And I would go down and spend my summers with them and everything. And I remember 4th of July's, we'd get fireworks. My aunt would give me a lit cigarette when I'm 5 or 6 years old, and that's what I'd light my firecrackers with. I'd puff on it, keep things lit. That's what I lit firecrackers with.
I remember somebody taught me how to inhale. It was like an older cousin or something, and they would same thing. Fireworks, got a cigarette, and I was like, "How do you do this thing?" And they're like, "Just take a puff and then act like your mom walked in on you, like."
That'll make you sick. Yeah. Oh, wow.
I tell you, cigarettes is an odd one because it's not like something else. If you know somebody that drank from the time they were 11 till they were old, you know what I'm saying? But by the time, if they drink from 11 to 90, by the time they're 90, you can be like, that guy drank his whole life. But every now and then you'll see like 100-year-old that smoked their whole life that looks fine.
No, it's usually Pall Malls,
You're
too.
Like, what? How is that possible?
Yeah, they're smoking Pall Malls.
Yeah. Or they roll their own or something. You're like, I don't even understand.
It's got to be genetics.
It is. It's got to be genetics.
Wow. Well, Willie's still smoking.
Is he?
I'm not cigarettes, though.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah.
I was reading his book when he first started when he was a kid. I think first thing he smoked instead of cigarettes was like he took cedar bark and rolled up cedar bark and smoked that. Now imagine how harsh that had to be.
Did y'all ever smoke grapevine when you were a kid?
I smoked grass.
So we had these little grapevines.
With loose leaf paper.
Little grapevines. There's little bushes and stuff that grow on the fence row, and you could break them off, and they had a little pinhole in them, and you could light them, and they would smoke. So we were little kids out there trying to be grown. We'd break them grapevines off and light them and smoke them.
I smoked a piece of straw once. I do remember that.
Yeah,
a piece of straw.
I smoked grass rolled up in loose leaf paper.
How was that?
Awful. Terrible.
Because the ink.
Yeah, I mean, it was awful. But I thought I was doing something. We all did. We were we ran out there in the woods with a piece of paper.
Trying to be grown.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you figure a lot of stuff out, man. I mean, just think of all the things we did when we were kids, man. I'd ride my bicycle all over town. I was never worried about anybody snatching us up or doing things to us, man. It's just a different world we live in. And it's a sad thing that our kids don't get to do the same things we did when we were growing up.
I tell you, it's a lot of, the small town mentality type thing is gone. Like, I used to wake up and run outside and know that 5 of my friends were also going to meet me outside somewhere, and we were about to go do something.
Yeah, and Mama said, don't come home till dark.
And those days are actually over. You got to call the other parent and set up some kind of play date or some shit. Like, it's aggravating that it's come to that. And I don't know if is the world worse, or is it because now we get to hear about every single kid that ever got kidnapped? I
just think there's more of it.
There
now.
Probably is.
I think there is. There's got to be something to it. I think
the days. I remember walking outside, and we had this old logging road behind our house. Dude, I'd just walk around for hours with a 410 or a 22.
Yeah,
being like 9, 10 years old, and nobody worried about it.
Take a canteen and a 22 and be gone all day.
Yeah. All day. Like, you remember those BB guns that were practically a 22? You'd have to pump them.
Oh, yeah, the pump up.
Pump them like 20 times. Dude, I used to wreck I didn't care what it was. Woodpecker? It's going down.
Yeah. Daddy got me a BB gun, said kill all them sparrows that getting up in the eave of the house, and I wear that butt out.
Oh, yeah. Boy. My grandpa used to collect everything. Like, if he saw something, he'd just put it in the shed. So he just used to have stacks of just old tires that nobody would ever use. And I remember I used to just sit on those tires right beside the shed and just wait for a bird to light in the pecan tree, kill it, and just wait on another one. Just all day.
If I did that, if I kept everything, I'd come home and my wife would have thrown it all away.
Yeah, I don't Well, my grandma is like the same thing. You'll find my grandpa will come home, be like, I found a glove on the side of the road. A brand new glove. I was like, it's just the right one.
Well, next week I might find a left one. You just don't know.
Crazy. They're like that, though.
I'm so bad. It's like, I get a new grill because they're cheap. You get a $200 grill from Lowe's and stuff, and they fall apart in 2 years when you use them all the time. So I want to take all the hoses and the burners and everything apart and keep them because I might use them during the apocalypse or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when are you ever going to not just go buy another grill?
I got the guts of 5 grills in the garage.
Yeah, somebody told me a similar story where their tractor had broke or something, and he said he was going to keep it for parts. And it had gotten so bad where the tractor had set in the field that people just thought it was a bush.
Yeah.
And it was a tractor in that bush. And he's like, well, I might need that box blade one day. Just lay it out there.
Yeah, that's the old way, man. People
it
used
is.
To keep everything.
Yep.
Keep all the same way. That was before everything was plastic, though.
My dad loves to keep boxes, like the shit that the box that whatever came in. Now I might need to move that someday. We might need to store it, and you might need to transport it somewhere. You're gonna need the original box.
No, I've never heard that one.
I'm not gonna need the original. Now I've noticed I've started doing it too. And I was looking up in the basement the other night. I was like, all right, I've got a sump pump box. I got a record player box. Like, I don't need this shit. Throw this away.
Why do we do that?
Because I got it from my dad, I guess. I don't know. It's not hoarding. I'm just acquiring shit. See,
you might need it.
Well, I hope you've gotten a lot of content from this conversation. Go back and mull over. Yeah, that's kind of funny. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, I like it. I'm telling you, having conversations like this just makes you realize that we're all cut from the same cloth a little bit.
Yeah. We really are, man. I think people generally want the same thing. They just want to raise their kids. They
and
want
be
to
happy.
Stay alive and be happy.
Want.
And it's not, I don't think we're asking too much.
Man, I got a question for you. What's your favorite thing that your wife cooks?
Her best thing that she cooks is for sure her spaghetti.
There you go. Now,
I do most of the cooking.
And what jar does that come out of?
Yeah. Something about my wife's spaghetti, man. She can do noodles perfect. Like,
really?
And I asked her how, and she
throw it up against the refrigerator.
She said the age old technique of just I throw it against the wall and see if it sticks.
When it sticks, it's done.
Yeah. Because I've had so many people's spaghetti that's just like got slimy ass noodles.
Well,
my wife can knock spaghetti out of the park.
I love me some spaghetti now.
I do too.
I like good spaghetti. Even Olive Garden spaghetti pretty good.
My favorite thing to eat though is deer meat.
Yeah,
That's my favorite.
How do you prepare your deer meat?
So either fried, of course, like fried
Do
tenderloin.
you tenderize it?
Yeah,
That's
of
what I
course.
do. I beat it down with
You
mallet
got to beat the
and
living
batter
shit out of it. Yeah.
that's
Well,
what I do.
I got one of those rolling tenderizers. It's so easy. Just drop it in there and keep dropping it through it. And or I like to wrap it in bacon and cut little pieces of tenderloin, wrap it in bacon, and
You got to do it small though. I don't like
Real
doing
small,
like you would a fillet or something.
No,
because
I
there's
do
no
them real
marbling in
little.
it. And
Yeah.
when you try to grill those, I've never had success in cooking the bigger chunks of deer meat because they dry out too bad.
Yep.
I like a little medallion fried biscuit. Boom.
oh yeah, that's
Ketchup.
delicious.
How do you make your gravy? I like me some milk gravy now.
See, I don't do any gravy.
Really? You look like a gravy boy to me.
Oh no, I'll eat gravy. I'm talking about I don't cook it. I'll eat it. Somebody's got some gravy. I'm gonna use it.
I like me some good gravy.
But I just do fried deer meat with ketchup, or like sometimes I'll holler out the tenderloin, like slice it and put cream cheese and jalapenos in it, and then bacon wrap it, and put that on the smoker, and that'd be good.
You know, it's always funny how when you start talking about food, how good the conversation gets. I like me some good food.
I'm telling you, we used to do that at work until finally somebody'd be like, "All right, damn it, I'm going to eat."
Yep. Well, brother, what's next for you? When you so this is you working this weekend? You working tomorrow?
No, I'll be at I'm working Saturday. I got a show. I got a appearance thing at SLE Rodeo in Montgomery.
Do you have a website or you do everything through social media? You got
Everything will be Justin Stagner everywhere. Everything's in my link tree too. That's where you can get all the stuff, merch, shows, all that stuff in one spot.
I really have enjoyed having the visit.
Man,
with you today,
I
man.
appreciate
It's been pretty
it.
fun.
Yeah, I love
Hope everybody's had a good time. You boys got anything else you want to talk about?
Shit, man. I've loved it. It's been awesome.
It's been enjoyable.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for your time. Justin Stagner, everybody.
Thank
what
y'all,
a great
guys.
day.